Welcome to the Organic Dragon Show. Today's class is on blessings. How to bless yourself and others, how to bless water and food, objects, and a little bit about house blessing. I'm excited for today's topic because this is one thing that I took personally as an oath to learn the power of blessings. So today we're going to start off by understanding 3 things that can change the DNA, and that is imagination, visualization, and affirmations. Imagination comes from the spirit. It's the ability to imagine what you want, to imagine prosperity and exuberant or radiant health. The visualization becomes more powerful as like a tool that you use all the time. You have to constantly continue then to visualize what you imagined. And we say in order to empower the imagination and visualization, we use the senses. So like a good storyteller taking you on their journey, they'll say, I felt the sand on my feet. I smelled the salt in the air. I heard the waves of the water crashing in the ocean. And I saw the beautiful sunset on my trip. And therefore it empowers it by using the senses. And one thing that can really enhance the ability of affirmations to work for you is using the emotions. So when you say things like, I want to be wealthy, there's nothing really standing behind that in order for it to be empowered. But to add something like, I feel good when I help other people, so therefore money is very important for me. Now it's empowered with the ability of you feeling good and that you're going to help other people and create a win-win situation. So just a little tidbit to start. And we're going to start by what's really important in the power of blessings is your actions and gestures. So before even anything that we say, we know a couple things we can do that are really powerful for other people. And what could it be? The most powerful thing that you could do for people is smile. Smile is probably one of the ultimate acts or gestures that you can do. You can smile to someone across the room and they know that you're smiling at them, and it makes people feel really good. Another idea of gesture is holding the door for someone, waiting that extra 5 seconds and holding the door for someone, or letting someone pass by you in a car, or waiting, for someone to pull out when you're sitting at a light before so someone can go in front of you. These are all acts of kindness that are very powerful and very useful all the time in today's world. So if you want to make a good stand for righteousness and goodness, you can just do things before you even say anything. So remember that. Also just, like the prayer hands, gestures like that are also very nice. Anything that gives someone an acknowledgement. So at the end of the day, one of the highest things that we can do is acknowledge other people. So it's very important when we're younger as kids, acknowledgement and abandonment are like core issues, and everything else usually stems out of them. So showing acknowledgement, showing people that you see them, not always necessarily need to agree with everyone, but just showing people that you see them and acknowledge them is the first thing that you can do on your way to become a blessings master. Okay, the next one is learning how to bless food and water. So this is so important because you never know what people are thinking when they handle your food, or you don't know what today's food has been through. You don't know if it's been on a truck and been shipped from another state. It had to pass through a couple, radiation tests, or it had to pass through, multiple people's hands. And sometimes even, someone like a chef making your food presents you with this beautiful dish, but you don't know what they were thinking when they were making it. So maybe they were just in an argument with their loved one, and they were putting all this, and as they were making this beautiful dish, they were, putting all this negative energy in your food. So even no matter how pretty your food looks, no matter where you buy it at the grocery store, before you eat it, it's very important to put a blessing over it. So some of you might be familiar with Dr. Emoto's work, and has become famous for showing the power of suggestion into water. So if you're not familiar with it, this doctor took these beakers of water, and just with the power of suggestion, he told one water and he wrote on there love. And then when he froze the water and he looked at it in a microscope, he seen these beautiful snowflake-like crystals. And the water that he neglected, or he put hate or lower vibrations into, basically, formed in these clumps, and they didn't look as beautiful. And so if you just take that notion, this has been proven scientifically, if you take that notion, well, we're mostly water. We're also, even food still has water, even dehydrated food still has a little bit of water in it. And so the things that we say to our food, our water, and to ourselves and to other people, yes, absolutely affect you on a cellular level and affect the water structures in your body. So thinking positive, saying positive affirmations, and definitely learning how to bless your food. So we're gonna use our left hand, and we're gonna make what's this tripod. So you're gonna hold it. Now you can put something like your tea or like that if you got strong fingers. Now you can also, if you can't hold something like a bowl or it's heavy, you can just go underneath the table. So you can go underneath the table and allow the energy to rise up. And so this is just the connection. And then you're gonna make the sword finger mudra. So you're gonna hold this mudra, and this is kind of like your wand in a sense. So now you're just going to, now there's a couple different ways. A simple way is just to say an affirmation over, or a prayer that you know. So I use love, light, and energy a lot of times. Love is the energy, light is the ability for me to see it, and energy is my action in order to make it happen. This is very powerful. My statements, my words are very powerful. Now, another visualization you can do is that you see the colors. It's kind of funny, red, white, and blue. And when those are all swirling around, whether it's food, water, or medicine, and in your mind, you either see it blend together and turn purple, or you just feel that it's empowered and blessed and cleared, then you can just do the red, white, and blue and turn it purple, or just a combination of the two. The visualization with the affirmation. So red, white, and blue visualizing, and love, light, and energy as an affirmation. Or just, thank this food and this water from where it came from. May it nourish me. So then as I'm nourished, then I can go out and I can nourish other people. Or the energy of the food can nourish other people that are less fortunate. So anything like that is very powerful. And in the older Ayurveda system, the Indian system, praying over your food is one of these first fundamental laws of eating and drinking food and liquid. So it's very powerful, and I hope that you guys can take that. And remember, it also just gives you that moment before you're about to eat or drink, where you just take a moment of silence, you clear your head. I always suggest turning off the TV or the phone and just sitting with your food and eating it in this quiet energy. And imagine every bite and every drink nourishing you and filling you up and sustaining your life force and your quest for health and wellness. Now, another one that I like to do sometimes with that is the Om Ahum, Om Ahum, Om Ahum, Om Ahum. Or if you know the Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, you can use a couple of those other ones. Or again, any prayer or chant or blessing, or just your thoughts over any food or water. Okay? The next is to learn how to bless spiritual objects or a sword. And so normally you're going to take some sage or some frankincense or copal. There's a couple of different things that people might use based on your tradition. But sage, I would say white sage specifically, is probably the most popular for clearing things. So whether it's like a statue that you bought, or a sword, or any spiritual items that you might have on your altar, this is the way that you should use in order to cleanse those and empower them with the energy that you want. So you're going to stand or sit in front of the altar with your item. You're going to then light your sage or your frankincense or whatever incense that you connect with. And you're going to, go underneath it. So I'm just going to use my tea again. You're going to go underneath it like you're basically erasing the energy signature that's been on it. So in this case, you don't know who handled the spiritual statue or a wand or some crystals or some stones or something that you got. And you just want to kind of clear it out to start from the beginning. So as you're holding them in the left hand, your right hand is waving over, and then you can feel the Om as a white light starting to manifest, the Om, and it's turning white. And then you feel the Ah, and it's turning red. And then the Hum is turning blue. And when those all swirl together, then all of a sudden the energy forms into this purple energy. And that's like one of the highest vibrations, the purple color. So therefore in that moment, it's cleared. And then if it's a spiritual object, you might infuse it with what you want. If it's a crystal or a stone, you might look up what the energies are generally used for. Let's say it's some tiger's eye or something like you're using on a stone. Then afterwards, then you would, once you cleared it, then you might put in what you know that's good for, like confidence and grounding. So then as you hold those energies afterwards, it's able to join into that object and be unified with you in the object. And so from that moment on, these objects, whatever they may be, have like a personal association with you. When we do the sword, we learn to give the sword a special secret name, and then this sword becomes like a spiritual sword. So I could call it forth in my dreams, and it'll come to me, and I can use it for other things. And so it's really cool to do things with this way. And then after you've empowered it, you want to place it on your altar for a minimum of 3 days and allow the energies of an altar then to resonate, clear, continue to clear, and also strengthen and empower it. So, I have like a little mini altar right here. You can kind of see at the side here. And what is an altar exactly? So my definition, or the way I've tried to enlighten people with understanding what an altar is using if you think of the power that runs down your street, these big power lines, and then in front of your house, there's like these boxes out there called transformers. So they take the big current and they drop it down to 120 volts so then it can go into your house. So that's what an altar is doing for us. A lot of times we can't make that direct connection to our higher self, or our source of power, whatever religion or faith that is. So we need this altar to bring the energy down into our physical realm, to bring it into our house or our temple. And so when we have an altar, that's where all this energy kind of flows through. So in this case, once we've empowered and we've cleared the spiritual object, we want to put it on our altar and let the energy continue to clear and empower it. Or in some cases, you might go to your church or your temple, like your Buddhist temple or your Taoist temple or Hindu temple, whatever it may be, and you might take some of your malas or your rosary or something that's sacred to you and leave it on the altar there for 3 days in order to empower it and clear it. This is another way to do it. Okay? And we offer that at the Lohan School of Shaolin. We have a temple there for you guys that live in Las Vegas. And so that's always available for you to take your objects there and put them on the altar there, because obviously it's very empowered and it has a lot of energy that flows into it because it's tended to on a daily basis. So there's incense lit on a daily basis. There's usually a candle that's always going. And so these are all things that can help it to become more empowered. Okay? Now the next one is how to bless people. And so this is really cool because my teacher, Grandmaster Ball, was so insightful. He said, what is the ultimate way to bless people? Think about it for a moment. What's the ultimate way to bless people? A compliment. You look healthy. You look happy. You look content. These are very, very nice to hear from anyone, and no matter how you're feeling, can make you feel a little bit better. Try not to be one of those people that say, oh, you look like you've lost weight, or oh, you look like you're tired, because this would be opposite of a blessing. Or you look like you've gained weight. People normally don't say you look like you've gained weight, but people will say, oh, you look like you've lost weight. And for skinny people, we don't want to hear that either. So this is just something to remember. We all have heard it before. You know, if you don't have something nice to say, then don't say something at all. But in this case, we want to compliment people as much as we can. And it doesn't always have to be on their looks. It can be, I like that color on you. I like those shoes on you. I like your hairstyle today. You know, you have pretty eyes. Now, with compliments are always nice to hear, but my teacher took it to another level and he said, what's even a higher level than the compliment is a silent compliment. And he said that because then the ego doesn't need to or get involved. So let's say someone walks into your presence or in your room, and in your head, but this is still different. You still have to think it and you still have to say it, but you're just going to say it in your head. So in your head, you look at him for a moment and you say hi, but in your head you say, you are really beautiful. I appreciate you today. And all of a sudden they look at you and they go, you know, I don't know what it is, but like, I like your energy today. And you just go, yeah, cool. I like your energy today. And this is a way to empower people and bless people without always having to say something. So when you're going to the store or when you're out and about, you can always give people a silent blessing. And that's what he would say that high-level spiritual people were always doing for you. So when you're in the presence of a lama or a master, and it feels good because more likely in their head, they're saying and they're thinking positive things about you. They're able to recognize your positive traits. And so this is something that I've used and it works wonderful. And you give somebody a silent blessing and then they're like, I don't know what it is about you, JC, but I like being around you. And I just go, yeah, that's cool. Well, it's because I've been saying how powerful you are and how healthy you look and how much I think that you're cool. And I think that you're, you know, this universal, powerful being of love, light, and energy. And as I just think these positive thoughts about people, I attract more people this way. And so this is makes you highly influential when you go into other places and you do this to people. So I encourage you guys to try that. Now, another way to bless people is starting, of course, with blessing babies. How do we bless babies? My teacher was not only a Taoist master, a Buddhist abbot of our temple, he was also a Lakota Native American chief. And so he always had such a well-rounded understanding of multiple traditions. And he really tried to emphasize to us to study world religions, but look at the similarities in the world religions and, you know, stick with that, because if most of the world religions agree on things, then that's probably the truth. And so one thing that he told us that's very powerful in the native traditions is when a baby is born is to ask that its guides, angels, ancestors look after and look to take care of this child on a spiritual level. And so asking for your children to be watched over is the way that we can bless them, of course. Okay, so asking the prayers from the Father, the family pertaining to the tradition, our offering when a baby's born, offering in the four corners and say, may your guides, angels, ancestors watch over this child. May this child, serve mankind. Asking is very important. So there's a little parable called the prayer of Jabez. Jabez was one of Jesus's followers. And supposedly, after he passed away, Jabez became very wealthy. And he acquired a lot. He acquired a lot of farmland. And he was helping a lot of people. And some of the other followers criticized him for acquiring so much wealth. And so his reply basically was, well, after I received a certain amount of wealth, I never stopped my prayers. And the more wealth that I acquired, the more I was able to help more people. And so this is really beautiful, to always ask for abundance so you can help more people. This is something that I worked specifically on my vows with when I went through my training with my teacher and I took my vows. I was adamant that I didn't want to take vows of poverty like the monks of the past have. That I wanted to acquire wealth because I wanted to build wellness centers and I wanted to build health centers and help more people. And I couldn't do that if I didn't have a certain amount of abundance. So I learned to ask for abundance all the time. And when you ask, you shall receive. And so if you've ever looked into any of these things like The Secret or the power of affirmations, the power of what you believe you deserve, you will get in your life. So thinking that you deserve, asking for abundance, asking for this child to be watched over and blessed, these are things that actually make it happen. So remember that you have to initiate it by asking and writing the affirmations down, visualizing it, and imagining it happening and how it's going to feel. So now there's different ones that we might use. Now we have different Dharma rites that we use to take blessings to a higher level. There's the funerals, there's the general healing, there's the compassion ones. We have protection blessings basically. There's a lot of different ways that you can use blessings. But your very own voice is the most powerful form of blessing, and your very own visualization is your most powerful tool for praying. So take a deep breath, visualize, speak your vows and your blessings into existence. So I hope this helped you today, and pray and bless yourself and others every day with positive thoughts and actions. Give people silent blessings. Empower your food and your water with the energy that you want to feel and live with. And I look forward to a day when everything becomes one big blessing. And thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you.